Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am going to be talking about 22 books I want to read in 2022. I have seen a few people doing something like this, and this is this is literally just taken from my spread in my planner this year, which is in my Plan With Me video. So if you just want a snapshot of what those are, here you are. Congratulations. Guess you don't need to watch the rest of the video. But I thought I would just go through and talk a little bit about each of the titles that I am interested in. Now, these are all backlist books. None of these have been published within this year. These are mostly ones that I wanted to get to last year and just didn't get around to. So let's just talk about the 22 books that I really need to get around to in 2022. Start off with the ones that I actually own, and I do plan on owning the rest. I do own the majority of the ones that are listed there. So let's talk about some of those now. One that is really high on my list is Ariadne, and I'm really excited because she has a new book coming out that seems really good as well. And this is basically a mythology retelling. I'm hoping it lives up to the hype, like Circe and the Song of Achilles and all that does. I love Greek mythology retellings. Some of the choices Ariadne has to make, especially when it comes to her brother, the Minotaur. So when someone comes to kill the Minotaur, she thinks that it can be seen as an escape from her life, and she takes the opportunity without really thinking of the consequences it could have in the long run. The other one is There is a hair on your eyeball. Is Never Let Me Go. This has been on my TBR for quite some time. This is a dark academia type book, and this is about a group of kids whenever they were younger in boarding school and whatnot. They were really close, and they kept being told just how special they are. We are now from the point of view of Kathy, and she is an adult now, and her friends have re-entered her life, and she's kind of looking back on those memories and what exactly makes them so special and how that is going to change their lives going forward. Next, we have Black Sun, and Rebecca Roanhorse has proven to be a fantastic writer for me. I love her writing, so I'm very interested. I've heard really great things about the series, and considering she has given up, it seems, on the Trail of Lightning series for now, I am going to have to, fill that void with something. So here we are. I've heard really fantastic things about this series. I'm not 100% sure what this is about. I do believe that there is forbidden magic involved. There's a villain. I think it has to do with political intrigue, and it has something to do with a god that is going to come when the sun and the moon, I think, converge or something. What does it say? A god will return when the earth and sky converge under the black sun. Okay, so there you go. So I just heard really fantastic things. I love this cover. We have My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is getting a sequel this year, so I would love to read this before the sequel comes out. And I have just fallen in love with Stephen Graham Jones' writing in the past year, and I feel like this is just going to be a hit, especially because this is about a girl who has this infinite knowledge of serial killers and slasher movies and horror movies and whatnot, and that somehow helps her in a way. And I think she starts imagining what the perfect slasher horror murders would be and whatnot, but then I think some of that stuff starts happening. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I've heard this described 15 different ways. I just know it's got slasher movies involved, and that has so been my thing lately, so I'm so excited. Another series that I really want to get around to, especially since I just bought all the special editions from, I think, Illumicrate, Jade City, and this is, I believe, it's after the war has happened, and the Jade Warriors, I think, have always kind of used, is that what they are? Honorable Greenbone, sorry, this is the Greenbone saga. Greenbone Warriors have always used Jade to, enhance their powers, but the war's over. The only problem is we now have, 4, family members who are preparing for battle because the clans are they're about to burst. We're on the edge of war yet again. That's all I really know. I just hear people raving about this, and so I'm excited to get to it. This one has been on my shelf for years, and I just really need to get around to it. I feel like I put it on every TBR ever, and that is Dragon Pearl. This is a middle grade. This is about a girl who hears about the so-called mythical Dragon Pearl, and then her brother actually decides to just leave their family and go in search of it or something. And so she goes after her brother to also like go in search of it as well. I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. It's like a space adventure. So I think it's going to be really cute. It's been sitting on my shelf for years and I just really need to get to it at this point. Duologies have been my shit lately, and so I feel like I just need to binge These Violent Delights and its sequel, but definitely this first one. This is like a fantasy mob type story, but it's also Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it is about like this young lady and a young man from different mobs, and I'm assuming something happens, but this takes place in like Shanghai, and it just sounds so good and everyone has been raving about it, so I need to figure out what it is all about. This one, I feel I've seen everyone talking about how emotionally damaging this book is, so naturally I was like, I like to cry. Give it to me. That is The Firekeeper's Daughter, and I do believe that this is steeped heavily in Native Indigenous culture, and this is about a young woman who I believe ends up getting pulled into an FBI investigation, and I think it involves the guy that she is also crushing on. And it is this investigation where she is put undercover in order to find like this new drug type thing that has hit the market. And so she's undercover, and as she is learning more and more about it, it is punishing the offenders more than protecting the victims of this crime that is happening. It falls on her community's knowledge to kind of figure out what is happening within this investigation, and it just seems like it is gonna be stunning. First of all, stunning, absolutely stunning, so I'm very excited about this. So I added this one to the list, and I am like double guessing this one. That is The Lost Village. I've heard really mixed reviews since I've kind of added this to the list, and this is about a filmmaker who is obsessed with like this town, this old mining town where people like everyone just vanished, and so she sets up a film crew to go and like investigate and film this town. But when they get there, weird things start happening, equipment is damaged, people start disappearing, and things like that. So I'm a little nervous because I have heard mixed things since then, but we will see. Some other ones that I have, but the dust jackets are kind of stowed away somewhere. A Darker Shade of Magic. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for some time. I do feel like my fantasy loving phase is coming back. I feel like it's going to make a comeback, so I'm here for it. This is about like this guy who wears like a magical coat and can travel between the different Londons. There's like gray London, red London, white London, black London or something, and can travel between them. That's all I really know. That's all I really want to know going into it. This has been a really beloved series that has been out for quite some time, so I feel like if the hype is still going, it's probably worth it. Also, Razorblade Tears. Now, to be honest, I am not 100% sure what this is about. I feel like I knew at one point, but I don't remember now. Anyway, Razorblade Tears. Allie, give me a voiceover. This follows a black man and a white man, and both of their sons have been murdered. Their sons were married to each other, and both of the fathers actually have criminal records, and so they kind of band together, share their criminal past to find out what happened to their sons and take revenge. Okay, people we meet on vacation, and I'm really excited. Don't know why I didn't get to this last year. Emily Henry, and this is about two best friends who used to go on vacation all the time, and then something happened. I don't know if like one of them expressed feelings and it wasn't recuperated at the time. I don't know, something happened. They had a falling out, and so they haven't seen each other. So then they end up deciding to go on like one last like vacation together, and I'm assuming feelings evolve and whatnot there. The Love Hypothesis, which is about like two scientists falling in love. Everyone has been raving about it. Even people who don't really seem to like romance seem to be loving this book. So pretty excited about that. I'm pretty sure he's like kind of standoffishy. And of course, like she's gonna get under that cold exterior. They like have to, it's a fake dating trope too. I think it has a fake dating trope. Like she blurts out that they're dating and he just rolls with it or something. Memories are happening in my brain. Fighting Words. This is a middle grade, and it is about dealing, I believe, with a sibling who has been sexually assaulted. My coworker, I actually had an arc and I gave it to my coworker to read because she loves this author. And she told me that it's a must read. She thinks that it should be incorporated into a lot of reading lists and that it is a topic that, you know, should be handled and should be handled in a certain way when it comes to young readers. And so I feel like I need to get to this. And that's it for the ones that I actually own. Now, the rest of them are ones that I don't own yet, but probably plan on getting. All of Us Villains, I believe this has been kind of spun as like Hunger Games, but they're villains, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And basically it's like a bunch of villains going to like a competition against each other and like the worst one wins. I'm not 100% sure. That's kind of what it's been in my head since they like released it. Little Women. I haven't read Little Women, and a lot of people I feel like have just been hyping it and hyping it and hyping it to the point where now I feel like I am missing out and I am getting FOMO. So I would like to read this and watch the movie, and maybe I'll do a vlog kind of doing that. I'll probably watch the newest movie. I've seen a lot of people just give it a decent amount of praise that I feel like that one is probably the one that I would enjoy the most. No Gods, No Monsters. I don't know why I put this off last year because this was probably like one of my most anticipated reads last year, and this is about like there are these things happening within the city, and then one day it's like I think like these myths of like gods and monsters start coming to life and like causing destruction and whatnot. I can't remember. I just know I was really excited and I've been really excited and I don't know why I didn't get around to that one. The Jasmine Throne, this isn't one that I know a lot about, but I have seen a lot of people talk about it. It's a fantasy. I want to say it is also a queer fantasy, so I think it might be female-female romance, but I'm not too sure. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Moon of the Crusted Snow. This is, I think this takes place like on a snowy mountain. I want to say it's some sort of like mystery thriller type story. I've seen a lot of people raving about it. I wanted to get to it last year and just didn't get to it. It is one that I want to go in not knowing a lot about, especially when it comes to like mystery thrillers. The less I know, the better it is, because sometimes I just guess everything and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. When the Reckoning Comes, this was just one that I wasn't able to fit in last year, but it seems really good. And this is about a black woman who grew up with a white friend, and they end up splitting ways. Her friend ends up buying like a plantation, and she's having her wedding at this plantation and invites her friend down, and her friend is a little hesitant to go, but she ends up going, and apparently like the ghosts of the plantation come out and have a little fun. The reckoning has come. So there is that. The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. Christina Henry is very hit or miss for me, and I feel like I need a redemption because I didn't really love the last book that I read by her, and so I need a little redemption, and this one just seems nice. I love that she takes like fairy tales and does like really dark but modern spins on them, so I am interested. Don't know. Allie, what is this one about?
This takes place in a small town where bodies are being like ripped apart, and only our main character seems to care, and then she has a vision of a monster like dragging apart these bodies and has to get to the secret of her town.
Ring Shout by P. Shelley Clark, and P. Shelley Clark does these like alternative history retellings, and they're usually around different types of Black history, and kind of just turns them on their heads. And the one I read was kind of steampunky. I am interested in this one. It is shorter, and I know that it deals with the KKK. Those are 22 things that I'm really hoping you all might have to remind me, like 6 months time, be like, you haven't picked up most of these, get to it. Maybe I'll vlog my adventures as I go, and we'll check at the end of the year if I've read them. I'm probably not going to remember to do that. Anyway, those are 22 things that I want to read in 2022. Let me know some of the things that you didn't get to last year and want to this year. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!